Oh yeah. What's going on, fight fans? Hey, welcome here. 86 Boxing, along with Boz's Boxing, another edition of Boxing Chit. And we're going to be talking about some of the things that are going on in the sport right here, right now. How's it going there with your Boz?
Oh, it's finally real summer weather here. It's really hot, and yeah, that's why I'm not. I would rather not show myself. I'm not wearing much at the moment because it's so hot. Yeah,
Yeah, all right, gonna temper things down a bit. Cool, cool. I understand for sure. It's been that
yeah,
crazy type of weather. As a matter of fact,
yeah.
so people watch out because that heat wave has been pretty critical for some out there,
Mm,
and you want to make sure that you're good, nice and cool, and all that stuff. So take care of yourself out there, folks.
yeah.
Of course, hey, we're here to talk a little bit of boxing once again. Boxing Chit back in the mix, and not a very deep weekend of boxing. There are a lot of cards that are going on, but as far as
Mm,
mainstream, yeah, not a ton that is out there right now, Boz, but we are going to get to Murat Gassiev, who's going to be actually fighting, and we know him. But that being said, beforehand, a week or so ago, I think it was a week ago, we had pretty good contest in terms of Abdullah Mason. He was in action and
yeah.
defending his world title when he took on Albert Bell, who was a late replacement, and it was initially going to be Abdullah Mason versus Joe Cordina, which I was looking forward to
Oh wow.
because I think
Yeah,
that's a darn good matchup right there. And I was
yeah.
interested in seeing how Cordina would look. But Cordina, his visa was denied, and therefore Bell was a last minute replacement. I think it was about 2 weeks or something of that nature. Now,
Mm,
Bell had been training to fight, I believe, either that same weekend. I don't know if it was the same card or what, but he had been in camp and in training. Uh, but this was his first opportunity at a world title, which he's been in and around the mix here for a minute. And it just so happened to come at one of the hottest young stars out there in the sport in Abdullah Mason there, Boz.
yeah.
And I think we had a pretty solid overall showing from Mason, even Bell there early on. He was giving Abdullah some trouble,
Yeah.
and ultimately the fight ended in what some would deem controversy, as Albert Bell, I believe he might have ended up with a broken nose, and he was really taking some damage there towards the tail end of the fight. And in the 11th round, after being dropped, he was the official actually stepped in. He didn't administer a count and he stopped it. This is his second time going down, actually. And some feel it was an early stoppage. I guess you could argue that's the such. And Bell notes that he wants to go out on, wanted to go out on his shield. Ultimately, it didn't happen. The referee stepped in there and stopped it, which some say was fairly quick. But otherwise, I do think that
Mm,
Abdullah Mason was going to get the job done there.
yeah.
He got up, as a matter of fact. I want to get your thoughts on that, boss.
Yeah, well, I hadn't seen Bell before, but he is pretty kind of a defensive fighter, counter puncher, I guess. Yeah, pretty good defense. So it wasn't easy for an easy job for Mason, of course, but yeah, I mean he did better and better as the fight progressed. The young Abdullah Mason, who is like I believe the youngest champion right now. And but yeah, that stoppage in the last round was kind of suspicious. I don't know, but now I mean that you mentioned that Bell got a broken nose, I guess that might have been why. I don't know, but he didn't look finished to me, even though he got dropped twice, and it was the last round and all that. But yeah, I mean, I think still Mason in the end deserved to win in that fight because he was the aggressor from start to finish. Even though at first you might say, well, in some rounds he struggled to land, but I mean, I thought that first round thing also might have been like a flash knockdown, even though
Hmm.
it was ruled as a slip. It kind of looked like a flash knockdown to me,
Yeah,
maybe.
he got hit
But
in the back of the head.
oh, okay, yeah. So
Yeah,
it wouldn't have been acknowledged even if it was a knockdown.
yeah,
So mm, well, yeah, Mason obviously he's an offensive fighter, and yeah, I like what I've seen so far of him. And very young guy. He's got a lot of his whole career ahead of him. It
oh
was
yeah,
also very interesting how the contrast between the fighters' image. Bell having that big long beard and Mason being clean shaven. That was kind
yeah,
of funny. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he looked really, really satisfied, and he should be Mason in the end. And he got that stoppage in the end. Yeah.
yeah. And Bell, he was a guy that was going to be tricky because he's a good boxer, not known for knockouts.
No.
Actually, if you look at his record, he doesn't have a ton of knockouts. But that being
Right.
said, he was undefeated prior to this, and one of the things that he could do well was box and work behind his jab, which he was doing early on in counter punching. He was landing some good shots on Abdullah Mason there in the early stages of it,
Mm,
and it showed that Albert Bell, he does belong. And ultimately, the thing that I like about Abdullah Mason is that he has sort of this knack about him, this energy behind him, where he's
mm,
not just satisfied with getting the win or coasting through or doing just enough. He actually wants it and he goes for it. So he was leading pretty much throughout the entirety of the contest, even if it didn't suit him, because, of course, him charging forward in sort of that leading fashion there in the early stages, that played more into the favor of Albert Bell because he's stronger countering and he likes to take his time and likes for you to come to him. And
mm.
by Abdullah Mason choosing to fight the way that he did, sort of on the offensive end or looking to lead, he was playing into the strengths of Bell, but there's just something about that mentality for Abdullah Mason. And I think that's what's won him over from a fan perspective. And you got to say there's something about that. And I guess that's one of the sort of knocks on Shakir Stevenson is at times where it looks like he can go for it and he may give you a little bit, but he doesn't push in that same way as of
Yeah.
Abdullah Mason on the offensive end of it. Of course, different fighters, but he doesn't push in that same way. And that's where some of the detraction comes in. But that being said, his way of winning is still as dominant or is very dominant, but he doesn't put himself in as risky of situations or propositions as Abdullah Mason would do as he's looking to get in there and actually engage. So I think that Mason is one of the bright young stars that is out there. And
Yeah.
this fight showed it in how he was able to adapt and overcome when it looked like he was going to have a pretty long night just dealing with the length of Albert Bell and that
Yeah.
style and pace.
Yeah. Albert Bell also looks like the total man, and yeah, very defensive minded. Obviously, very yeah. As you said, it was obvious he's not a puncher. I mean, that's because then he wouldn't have boxed or fought like he did. Just boxing, counter punching, and all that. Yeah, slick stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, indeed, indeed. Another
Mm.
fighter who was on there who did pretty well was Bruce Carrington. Well, I guess you could say did
Oh,
pretty well, even though the fight in itself, um, it wasn't one of the more exciting ones from Bruce Carrington. He did end
Oh
up picking up
yeah.
a victory in his title defense. And probably, I guess you could say, a tougher fight than what some may have expected there with Palacios, who he was in with. But Bruce Carrington is another
Mm.
youngster with a title who is out of Brooklyn, New York, and he's one to watch. He's at 126 pounds, and what had
Okay.
been sort of pushed out there was a potential clash between between Carrington and Naoya Inoue were in a way to move to 126 pounds, with both of them being under the top rank banner. Whether or
Mm.
not that happens, or if it happens
Yeah.
next, that's still to be seen. But it'll be interesting just from an overall perspective because, as we know, in a way, he's pretty much cleaned out 122 pounds at this stage.
Mm.
So there is also the possibility and prospect of, in a way, taking on Bam Rodriguez at some point if Bam
Yeah.
Rodriguez were to move up to 122 here in the near term, though he just had his first fight at 118 pounds.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to factor in.
The dream, that would be the dream fight, of course. But yeah, I would also like to see, against someone who might not be, not a young boxer, but still, quite dangerous, and that's John Real Casimiro, who actually
Oh yeah.
stopped Luis Neri not so long ago.
Oh
So
yeah.
he might be, I think he's 37 or something, but he's still a puncher, he's a dangerous guy still.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Mm.
remember that fight was coming up, and I didn't catch it. I remember when
Mm.
it was on, and I hadn't looked into what the result was because Vince Paras, he fought on that same card, and I think
Yeah.
Paras ended up losing to a Japanese fighter that he was going up against there.
Oh.
But yeah, Neri, yeah. So Neri was taken out. Casemiro, yeah, Casemiro had a lot of momentum behind it, and it kind of died
Yeah.
down behind him, and it kind of died down after sort of the fight with Nonito Donaire didn't materialize because
Oh
they were in
yeah.
discussions there for a good period, and it
Yeah.
ended up being sort of some back and forth between the two, and Donaire chose not to fight him because of, I guess, some things that Casemiro may have said about his wife or whatnot,
Oh wow.
and therefore that
Ouch.
Casemiro lost a lot of momentum from that standpoint. But he was
Mm.
a name that was buzzing out there, and one we would have wanted to see in there with, in a way. I guess it could,
Yeah.
in theory, still be a possibility.
Now.
Um,
Yeah.
but you never know.
Now I think sadly it's not that likely that he gets to fight Inoue, but
Yeah.
it was a more of a possibility like 3 or 4 years ago, definitely.
Yes.
Mm. But now, yeah, not so much.
Yeah, and he definitely has the type of power that he would have made it interesting for sure for
Yeah.
those viewing, because in a way he's another type that will engage, and he can be hurt or caught in certain situations. So Casemiro, you'd think, had the type of power that he could potentially catch him with something as well. And that's something to think about right there. Cheers to Bruce Gas, Boxy Jazz
Hey,
More, 86 and miles with two fades. Appreciate you there, Bruce Gas, in the
what's
mix
up?
there.
What's
Uh,
up, Bruce?
Thank you for dropping by, Bruce. Hey, folks, if you don't know, now you know. Go check out at Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz and More 1969. At Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz and More 1969. I think you will enjoy the content over there on Bruce's channel. He's tapped in on a lot of what's going on in this boxing world, including the history, and does quizzes that are very entertaining
Mm.
there. I got to make another one myself there, Bruce. I know it's Tuesdays, I believe, that he does it Tuesday nights. So I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
get over there, Bruce. I haven't forgotten about you. I'm gonna try to get over there, especially here in the near term. But appreciate you
Yeah.
dropping in.
Me too.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So yeah. But in a way versus Casemiro, maybe not likely to happen. In a way versus Carrington, if that happens, that will be very interesting.
Mm.
Maybe in a way tops out at 126 pounds. It still remains to be seen, but that will have been Yeah, he's done a number of divisions. Considering, I think he may have started at what 108 or something around there.
In
So
Norway, yeah, probably flyweight, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah, he's been a champion in multiple divisions, and he's yeah had a heck of a career thus far. So we'll see. As far as I'm concerned,
yeah,
number one pound for pound in the world as it currently stands, Naoya Inoue for me, number one pound for
yeah.
pound.
I never forget when he destroyed Omar Narvaez. He
Oh
was
yes,
like a legend. Had made so many title defenses and all that. And he just
yep,
destroyed him in 2 rounds. Like it was ridiculous.
yeah, and he's been
Hmm.
on a heck of a run since then. Wiping out guys left and right, yeah, and he
Yeah,
is another guy who actually goes for it, and he'll engage with you on the offensive end, which has made him an exciting proposition. And when he gets you hurt, he really tried to get you out there, and he usually does. So, shout outs to Naoya Inoue, as I mentioned, uh, number one pound for pound, in my opinion, there, as noted. Yes, indeed, there, Bruce. Boz knows his ish. Good stuff. Shout out to Papi Chun Yayo. Salute there to you, Papi Chun Yayo. Dropped in the mix here in the chat. Appreciate you dropping by here, buddy. Yeah, we're talking a little boxing and what's going down here this weekend. Another edition of Boxing Chit. While you're here, folks, be sure to like. If you don't subscribe, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to check out Boz's Boxing. Do the exact same things. And we appreciate you being in the mix with us. Papa Junior over here laid up with Ice Fast. Hey, get well there, buddy. Get well. Know how it can be. I'd imagine. Know how it can be. Yeah, you're always in the mix. Hey, you gotta take care of that. Take care of yourself there. So hey, cool down there, bro. But yeah, we're in the mix. Yeah. So, uh, Papa Yale says we need Vibes help with these fights tomorrow. LOL. Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, so tomorrow, as a matter of fact, we do have some fights, as mentioned. There, it's a lighter weekend. The marquee fight, of course, is going to be Murat Gassiev, formerly of cruiserweight fame. He's a heavyweight now, and he's going to be taking on a fighter by the name of Kadiru, who's a German fighter. I don't know if I've seen Kadiru. Baz, I don't know if you have or whatnot, but I can speak, of course, to what Murat Gassiev is capable of, and he's a strong fighter who packs a punch. As we were noting, Baz, he um, knocked out and maybe even finished off what is the career of Kubrat Pulev. I believe that was his previous contest out there. So Gassiev is looking to stay in the win column. This is going down in New York, as a matter of fact. So I wanted to get your thoughts. What do you think on realistic prospects there, Boz, of Gassiev as far as heavyweight in the overall title picture? Because ultimately, the question is, world world heavy. Oh yeah, I guess Bruce said they should be arrested calling this a world heavyweight title fight. So they have a title on the line for this. Interesting, interesting. What title? Oh yeah, WBA. Interesting there. Very much interesting. WBA title on the line. Yeah, what do you think of their Boz on Gassiev and the fact that this is a WBA world title fight? If you're still there with us, there, Boz, can't hear you. If you're still there, can't hear you. Or maybe you're not. And maybe you're not. We'll get back with you there, Boz. Once you get locked back in, well, I'll give you all my opinion. And Papa Junior Usyk vacated all the belts. Yeah, that is the case right there. Yeah, that was the case. He didn't want to. I guess he's done fighting mandatories and such, and he's gonna take more of a marquee fight that he wants at this particular stage. WA title, same one Ali Frazier and Foreman wore. Very interesting. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. That Murat Gassiev he's getting that shot. Um, I see here it is WBA because I was gonna say, realistically speaking, I wasn't sure of where he stood from an overall perspective as it pertains to the heavyweight picture. I think he's a good fighter. Another guy who moved up from cruiserweight to heavyweight, like Usyk. But that being said, I wasn't really
Hello,
viewing him
hello.
as a guy who was in the in the world heavyweight title picture. There you go, there, Bob. Yeah, we're just chatting about
Oh
the
yeah.
fact that this
Sorry,
contest is.
somebody had called me, so I wasn't. Something happened to the sound, obviously.
Oh yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
does that. Yeah, it cuts you off
Mm.
when you get a call here in
Yeah.
Streamyard. But
Yeah.
yeah. So what I was talking about was the fact that this is for a WBA title here, by, and I didn't
Yeah.
realize it there at first, but it's one of the ones that was
I
vacated
guess.
by Usyk.
Yeah.
Um,
Or
and
I think Pulev held like a WBA belt too. I mean, maybe Garcia won it when he knocked him out. I don't know. Probably
yeah, I
something like
don't
that.
know. Didn't
Or
he have
maybe
one?
this is a vacant, right? It's a
Yeah, I think
vacant.
it's from Usyk.
All right, right, yeah. Well,
Usyk
yeah,
vacated
this
the
is,
title.
but like Bruce, you never gonna get the best fighters fighting for all the belts. That's just how it is. The boxing politics. I mean, there always will be, but always will be guys that are very good, but that don't get the chance when they should, and stuff. But yeah, I mean, Garcia is a favorite, definitely. I see it. I don't know Kadiru. Who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe he is so good that he will knock out Garcia, but I don't. I fa- I favor Garcia. So if he was that good, I think I would have heard of him by now. I think,
Probably.
yeah.
Probably.
But you never know. But yeah, Garcia, very strong guy, has a punch, as you said, power guy. Definitely tough cookie, and I don't think he's ever been stopped. No, does he have a loss except for the Usyk one? Also, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Or
he's
maybe
got
maybe
yeah,
one.
Usyk beat him and someone else. I'm trying to remember who would have been the other person who have defeated him. I see two losses on his
I
record.
think yeah, there he had one more, maybe to someone else like Briedis, or I don't know.
Oh yeah, Breedis I do think would have beat him. Let me see
Yeah,
whether I guess yeah. But
Otto
before I
Green. Yeah,
oh
yeah,
Otto
there's.
Valine. That's what
Mm.
Bruce mentions. Otto Valine.
Must have been his first heavyweight fight or something.
Yeah, one of those early young ones.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that when he stopped Junior Dorticos in the last round, what a fight that was! Oh my god, what a
Oh yeah.
classic! Yeah, I
Yep. And
and
Dorticos could punch.
Dorticos, yeah, was no joke. Of course, one of the best cruiserweights of his time, definitely. You
Oh
know,
yeah. I think
yeah,
he's still out there too. I know
yeah, I think
not too long
so.
ago, a year or so ago.
But he's kind of old now, past his prime,
Yeah,
past
not
his
as
best. Yeah,
active.
yeah.
Yeah, that's so it's interesting. What I was asking you before I realized it was actually for a title is what do you think of Gassiev actual his actual chances or prospects of being in the title picture? Well, it looks like he's right there in the mix, but I
Mm.
didn't view him as a guy just based on kind
No.
of what's in line as far as those in that top 10 as a guy who was going to get a shot anytime soon, were the
Mm.
order as it was with Usyk holding the belts and reigning supreme. But now that
Yeah.
he's vacated them all, it's happened. You know what I'm saying? But I just think it was a log jam there at top, and I'd move. And I, of course, had Gassiev there on the back end. I think he's a darn good fighter.
Yeah.
He has power, no doubt about it. But there are some heavyweights that I would certainly rate above him from an overall perspective.
Mm.
A number, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he might do better at heavyweight because at cruiserweight. I mean, well, Usyk is Usyk. He's never gonna be that guy. I mean, well, he wasn't gonna beat him at cruiserweight. Nobody was gonna beat him at cruiserweight,
Oh
except
yeah,
for maybe a prime Evander Holyfield, maybe or someone like that. You know,
oh
but
yeah,
even that would have been hard. Yeah, for Holyfield. Well.
yeah, right. Papatino says there was an American black belt who was trying for the belt. They stepped in last minute and gave it to this dude. I'm not sure on who on the
Maybe.
American side, but yeah, I did realize now that because Bruce mentioned it. But yeah, this was Tony Yoka Tony Yoka was going to be the
Oh,
person that was going to be fighting Gassiev. And matter of fact, that poster's still out there as well. Um, that poster is still out there, where it's Gassiev and Yoka on there, and of course Tony Yoka. We know him. He had a solid amateur career in
mm,
terms of uh what he was able to do. And then hey, he lost to
to that
Coley.
little. Yeah, but Coley and the other guy was much shorter. Merhi was it?
Oh,
Merhi.
Mary, that's the
Yeah,
German heavyweight, right?
or Belgian or something. I don't know.
Belgium or German, yeah, one of the
Belgian,
two.
I think. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So Tony Yoka,
Riyad Merhi. Yeah,
he had a lot
Riyad.
of prospects behind him. Well, he was a prospect at one point with some fanfare behind him and potential behind him. But hey,
Mm,
those are tough fights, especially Bacoli at the
yeah,
time too. I think coming into that probably was sort of one that helped to people to realize that Lawrence Bacoli was a pretty darn good fighter. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
yeah, he was able to defeat Tony Yoka. This would have been interesting
oh
because
yeah,
Yoka would have had the size on they Yoka
yeah,
would have had the size on him, and that would have made things pretty interesting. It would have just been a matter of how Yoka held up to Gassiev's power. I would think at least.
yeah.
So it's
Well,
interesting.
Yoka hasn't been knocked out. I think Bakoli made. I think he probably knocked him down or something,
Yeah,
but he wasn't knocked out yet ever so
yeah,
far.
and he's a long fighter, so it would have made it interesting for
Yeah,
Gassiev. So I would have liked to have seen that. With who knows what happens down the line. Bruce mentions Joe Joyce fighting an undefeated on the card. Yes, that is the case. Joe Joyce is on there. He's taking on, I think his last name was Slinov or something like that. Um, and yeah, that's going to be another. Yeah, Ernest mentioned Tony Yoka had a back injury. So yeah, back injury is
mm.
what took him out. They did think Joe Joyce should have the shot. Yeah, Joe Joyce. Yeah,
Oh
potentially. Yeah, that could have
no.
been one. He could have gotten a shot at right there. That would have been interesting. I know that Joyce would have been there at least for. We really would have gotten to see what Gassiev's power was like against Joe Joyce, depending on what he could do with him, or the other way around. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that would have been an interesting one.
yeah. Well, Joyce by now must be, really wasted. I mean, over the hill. So he's
Yeah,
like what, 39, 40,
no,
what,
he should be in his 40s at this stage.
40,
Shoot,
41, maybe.
I
I don't
turned
know.
40, so
Yeah.
he's there.
Yeah, I remember he was 36 when he first got kind of
Yeah, yeah,
better known. Yeah. So,
yeah. That's interesting right there. So yeah,
mm,
Joyce. We'll see how much he has left. I think he was able to get a couple of wins or whatnot. But that
mm,
being said, his he was a guy that you could hit with almost anything, and you really couldn't do anything to him. Some of that armor seems to have been chipped away somewhat.
yeah,
So
by Zhang.
we'll see how he does in here with this guy that he's in with, who's it is an undefeated guy. I don't recall having seen the guy that he's going up against previously, but he is an undefeated, I think, Russian fighter. So you just never
Okay.
know.
Yeah, I don't know. Caballel, he's being, of course, deservedly so. He's being really hyped right now, but I just didn't like his performance against the tall Polish guy, Kniba.
Niba.
S- Yeah, he gave him too much trouble and he came out of nowhere, basically. He was regarded as a nobody, a bum, but uh, I guess, Caballel just had underestimated him, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, that I feel what you're saying there. So he would have been Caballero would have been interesting in there with Usyk. It would have been
Yeah.
interesting to see what would have transpired. And it seems as though that was potentially going to happen. But now that you really look at it, when Usyk was there in the ring, he looked more annoyed and probably had his mind made up already then that yeah he wasn't going to fight Caballero, just based on the situation, but they were trying to push that. But hey, with the vacated title, so I would think that Cabiel is going to get a shot at one of these titles. So his opportunity there for a title will definitely come about, and we'll see what's going on. But yeah, Moses Atoma, yeah, he does look like he's the goods for sure.
Yeah,
And he's going to be taking on Philip Hergovich later this year. I forget exactly what month,
yeah.
maybe a couple months from now or something like that.
I think late August or something like that,
Yeah.
September.
Now that's going to be
Uh,
a hell of a scrap right there because Hergovich looked darn good in his last contest against Dave Allen.
Dave
And
Allen, yeah. Even though it was Dave Allen, I mean,
true,
let's not
true,
forget that. Yeah,
true,
yeah. It
true.
wasn't
So
Derek Chisora or something like that.
yeah, yeah. But I think that hey, Hergovich, he's gonna have to be on his game here with Atoma, and maybe this is the biggest test thus far for Atoma, at least on paper.
Yeah,
And if it goes as far as Hergovich having the bad intentions that he's had in the past, then this will legitimately be a test for Itoma, and we'll get to see what he's able to do in there with Hergovich. And now I do think that
yeah,
Itoma moves better, a bit more of the quicker guy and everything. So
yeah. He's
that's
a
got to be in
little,
his favor.
he's a little smaller, a little lighter, I think, than Hergovic. He's another really big heavyweight. I mean, like almost a dreadnought or however they call him back in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also got bigger. I mean, a bigger punch simply than Hergovic, and yeah,
Yeah.
Hergovic is not really of that one punch or two, three punch type knockout sort. Like yeah, he takes a more than that to break. He gotta break you down first and then kind of knock
Mm-hmm.
you out. Yeah,
Yep, yep. So this should be interesting right here. So looking forward to that fight. That's probably one of the more exciting ones on the heavyweight landscape that is coming up. Papa Yayo says, until we raise a baby heavyweight here in the States, can we trust Dana White to bring belts back to the States? Very interesting, right? Yeah, I don't know who they have over there on the heavyweight side at Zuffa, but it's gonna take some heavyweight metal for sure. Gonna
yeah,
need some names or someone who can allow for that to happen. And right now, yeah, I don't recall who they have on the heavyweight side, if anyone.
yeah. That's
Well, yeah, they
pretty.
have some young guys, but yeah, as far as
Yeah,
anyone who
just
is a threat right now from a title
just
standpoint.
yeah, young pups. Really, it's pretty barren there at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do have an American guy. I forget his name, but he's been on like at least two of the Zuffa cards. He looks like he could have some potential. Now, Joshua Edwards is out here on the American side. He has the
oh,
Olympic pedigree in that backing background behind him, that amateur, U.S. amateur system behind him. He's with Golden Boy. He's about 8 fights in or somewhere around there, but still some growth to be seen there. So it's kind of wide open there. And as of right now, yeah, there's no one on
oh,
the top 10 side that's an American heavyweight.
no,
So that
but
goes
yeah,
to show you the state of things, right? For an
yeah,
American heavyweight,
it's
at least.
the first time in history, as I said before. I mean that there are no Americans there in the top 10
Where are all the
heavyweights.
heavyweights? Where are
Yeah,
they? You know?
like only, well, 10 years ago, it was very different kind of picture. I mean, or especially, 15 years ago and stuff. Even though then, yeah, we had the Klitschko's and all that, but still, you also had the other, kind of boxers like Deontay Wilder and, yeah,
Yeah, and then you had to go back further for some of the others who were in and
yeah,
around there.
Asim
Uh,
Rahman,
yeah, Calvin Brock.
Colin Brock, yeah, that's right.
These types I guess you had Chris Areola who was out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Andy Ruiz
Andrew
Jr.,
Ruiz. He
yeah.
just signed a deal with Matchroom Boxing, a multi-fight deal. He's going to be coming back. I think he's taking on Kanaiba as well. Uh,
Oh, really?
I think, but I could be wrong. But I saw a poster with him and Kanaiba. But I know he's signed with Matchroom. But of course, there's still a big question mark as far as Andrew Ruiz at this stage and what he can do realistically, or what
Yeah,
he will do realistically.
he's not so fresh anymore, and he's
And
had a few fights, big ones too.
yeah, he's been
Yeah,
largely inactive here over the last several years.
yeah,
Largely inactive. So yeah, I don't know. That's of course, he still has some name value.
yeah,
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he stands as far as the heavyweight picture. I mean, he hasn't fought enough to even be considered in the top 10 or anything. As far as I'm concerned, he's going to have to do something. We just have to see what it looks. He's 36 at this stage, but of course, he's been inactive, so
mm,
he's not. He doesn't have a ton of wear and tear here over the last several years. It's just more
yeah.
so inactive.
It doesn't
And
look like he's got a lot career left. I mean,
yeah,
a long future ahead of him. No.
so this will be interesting. This will be interesting what he does ultimately. So I
Mm,
guess it's sort of a wait and see. But hey, he's with the Matchroom banner, of course. They have some heavyweights, and maybe we're just gonna
yeah,
see Andrew Ruiz in there with some of these guys that are on the Matchroom side. Or realistically, yeah,
yeah.
all of the top 10 is outside of the U.S. So or non-U.S.
That's
fighters.
true.
So
Yeah.
we'll see what Andy Ruiz can do. But yeah, it's very interesting. The heavyweight
Just
division, yeah, the heavyweight division,
yeah.
I think will just be interesting in general. If Atoma is able to get a belt, I think he's one of the more exciting what ifs as far as
Mm,
what he can do in his potential for a dominating division. As Ernest had mentioned there, I think that he's someone to look forward to. And I guess if a combination of him and some of those other guys that round up that top 10 get made, then those could be pretty exciting and carry the division forward.
yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, but it just shows what a great job they have done especially in the UK, to work on developing these talents. Like people like Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren and Ben Shalom, and all these people have done a great job, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
So, and of course, promoting them right, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, that's one of the things that factors in there as well, and matching them up
Mm,
in the proper fashion. Because Toma,
yeah,
he looks ready, looks to be the real deal. Here on the American side, yeah, we still have some work as far as getting some individuals out there. But they've been matched up well there on the other end, so it's
mm,
a matter of kind of we'll see. But that being said, maybe someone rises from the ashes in a sense. There, we occasionally get someone that comes out of nowhere. Uh, Maybe not, but we will definitely see. Um, but yeah, though, so Gassiev, that is the sort of big fight of the weekend, actually. As noted, there you got Team Boxing League that's going on, all that stuff. But as far as any big names, that's pretty much it. Gassiev, Joe Joyce out there, um, and yeah, I guess we'll have to wait until next week. We get a pretty good fight. Diego Pacheco's back in the mix, and then here as more things round up, we'll be able to tap in a bit more in that regard, folks. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is
yeah.
right there, boss.
Yeah, true. It's not the best month right now. It's not the most stacked month. I guess. I hope the next one will be better. Yeah.
Yep, yep. But yeah, all
Mm,
good either way. Hey, folks, we appreciate you all that did drop by there. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, Poppy Tune, Yayo. Always a pleasure having you all in the mix. Be sure to check them out, folks. Hey, be sure to hit that like, subscribe for those that tune in on a replay. Be sure to subscribe to Boz's Boxing. Do the same thing. And hey, we appreciate you
thanks.
all from being here. And as mentioned up top, stay cool out there. Some dangerous heat waves
Yeah.
going on around the world. So stay cool, keep yourself safe, hey, and enjoy your weekend and what's in store. So we'll see you hopefully next week, folks.
See ya. See you soon.
Peace.